Today we have got our hands on with One UI 9 running off Android 17. This is everything you need to know. Welcome back to SamMobile TV. You're here with Daniel. In front of me, I have my Galaxy S26 running One UI 9. We have had an earlier build of One UI 9 running on Android 16, but this one is One UI 9 running off Android 17. So we've been able to get access to, well, that's bugged out. Well, it hasn't bugged out. I just didn't know how it worked. You've got to complete the circle and then the Android 17 thing appears. Whoops. But you get my point. It says it right there, Android 17. So what's different about it? Well, let's go through the list of things we've found in my time with it so far over the weekend. First thing, and I think everyone's kind of noticed this already, is that when you swipe down from the quick panel, the brightness and the volume sliders are massive. They're a lot thicker than what they were before, and you still can edit them, and they can be edited a little bit smaller and look a little bit longer, but they're a lot thicker in terms of their width across there, so they take up a bit more space. Everything else about the quick panel still looks fairly much the same as what it was before. There's no new settings for the panel settings, and the adder controls have still got all of the same stuff that were there before. You can just see that thickness there for the brightness and the volume slider. They're a lot bigger. Next thing I found, we're going to dive into the settings and go into Galaxy AI. There's a couple of things I've noticed in here that are a little bit different in that they've added some toggles into certain things. First one is Photo Assist. If I go into Photo Assist and into the Create menu, there's an option here to automatically suggest prompts. So it says show AI generated prompts automatically so you can use to edit your photos. So if I turn that on, and if I go into Galaxy AI here, let's find a photo. Let's pick this one here. So I hit the edit Galaxy AI key and go to create. You can see AI will analyze your photo to suggest creative ways to transform it. So if I close that and try and use it, okay, so obviously it's not quite working yet. It's got some issues, but it kind of gives you an overview of what it's meant to do. It just doesn't work yet. These are early builds, so it's not meant to work, I guess. You can see it there, though, automatically suggests prompts. The next one is if I go into Audio Eraser, there is now a menu here for erase audio from media apps. So if I click on that, you'll see all of the toggles for the supported apps that Audio Eraser works for. So pretty much anything that can play video content, this will have an option to toggle on the Audio Eraser function. So then when you launch a video, so let's go into YouTube and find one. We'll use one of ours, shall we? Select. Swipe down, you can see Audio Eraser appears there, and then you can turn it on. And then any app that is in this list will have that Audio Eraser toggle at the top of the quick panel. Other little things like within the Now brief, they've created sections for the different styles of content that you might want to organize within the Now brief. They've sort of blocked some stuff off. Other than that, though, that's really it. Everything else that's in here is pretty much operating the same. Next, we're going to dive into Samsung DeX because there is actually an extra toggle in here that's been added, and they've also added in a new UI for the new desktops. So this new toggle here, Auto Hide Status Bar and Taskbar, is new to add in under there. It was existing as a feature before, it's just now been brought centrally into Samsung DeX, and the UI for adding desktops has changed as well. So they've kind of just reorganized the visual look of it. They've got a nice new thing at the top that shows you all the open desktops that you can swipe between and just creates a better, more consistent feel. It's a little bit more polished. The rest of Samsung DeX is still, as of this stage, the same, but that new UI with the desktops at the top is different and brand new. Next, we dive into the camera. There's only one thing I noticed different about the camera so far, and that is this new tilter toggle at the top here. However, it's not a default option. You have to go into settings, and you have to go into Camera Assistant, and you have to make sure the tilter wireless lens controller is turned on. That did exist before. All they've done is just take that toggle and add it in to the camera at the top here. So any camera mode, that tilter toggle is there, and you click on it, and it tells you which tilter toggle is selected, or the wireless lens controller is selected. At the moment, it's none. The rest of the camera, identical as of now. Next, we're going to dive into Quick Share because there's actually a brand new feature within Quick Share. So if I go to Quick Share and I go into the settings, there's a new feature in here. See if you can spot it before I tell you. Nah, that's boring. It's tap to share. You turn this on, press the toggle, Turn it back on again. Again, early version, not even beta. This is like before beta. And you can see here, it tells you how tap to share is going to work. Because I don't have another device running One UI 9 or Android 17, not going to work yet. But you can see here how it works. NFC needs to be turned on to both phones, and it gives you a breakdown of how it works. Effectively, it's like how it was before with S-Beam, if anyone remembers that. This is legitimately the same thing. Like, it's the same. It keeps turning off too, so obviously it's not working yet. Another thing I've kind of noticed is there's a slightly more refreshed look about settings. So if I go into settings here, you won't notice it here. It's more when you go into something that shows you how things work. So if I go into advanced features, for example, underneath the feature, rather than it integrating it into the white block that it normally would do, it actually extracts the information out into the gray area. So for dual messenger and super HDR, it puts it underneath, as opposed to previously it used to be integrated into here. I think, again, it's more about creating that cleaner aesthetic where the heading stands out. And if you want to know more, you just look underneath it. It doesn't kind of take up space or take up eye room. Everything's a bit cleaner of an aesthetic. That's sprinkled right the way throughout, whether that be here in advanced features or here in the gallery. You can see, again, underneath things like essential albums and merge albums, they've done that same thing, whereas it didn't look like that way before. They've also refreshed, I think for the third time in a row, My Files. So going into My Files, they've brought back the block area for all of the downloads, images, videos, and like the types of files that have been grouped together. They used to have it just as a carousel along the front here. Now it's back to that. They can't really seem to make up their mind. That's the only thing, though, at least from here, that's changed, is that part. There is a new font for the lock screen clock. So if we click on this, you can see here, this now works with that wrapping around. It's the same font that was there before, but it now just works with the feature that wraps around people. So before it was only this style. That was the only font that worked with that format of lock screen. Now, though, you have the option to use this one as well, and it also will wrap around whatever content you've got on the lock screen. That's new in One UI 9. There's also a new widget for Bixby. So if I swipe across here to a blank part of the screen, select widgets, there is now actually a Bixby widget. In the format that it's in now, where it's got the Perplexity integration, actually makes a lot of sense. So you've got 3 different widgets to choose from. All of them give you the option to press the microphone, press the keyboard. This one here is a little bit bigger. It's almost like a search widget, which you can add in. And then that way you can just either talk to Bixby, open up multi-window options in settings. Okay, so it's not quite working yet, and you can type to it as well. So it means you can type a prompt, open up multi-window settings and hit next, and then it'll find what you want to do and open the advanced features and go to multi-window settings. So you now just have a shortcut to Bixby as a widget, as opposed to needing to launch it with a power button. You can keep that for Gemini, use that for Bixby. Clever. And the last thing we've noticed back inside settings is a new warranty and care option. So it kind of, I guess, reminds me of device care, just now that it's got a warranty sort of area where you can actually see all your devices that you've got logged into your Samsung account. You've got a troubleshooting, which seems to be powered by Bixby. And then you've got things like performance issues and diagnostics, all being sort of powered by AI. And then you've got an own diagnostics area as well. And you've got request to repair and remote support. So just a new area, which is all about troubleshooting and looking after your phone. Hasn't replaced device care. That is still there. So you still have the option to do diagnostics from here as well. But this is just now a new setting, which doesn't look like it's operational yet, because I guarantee you my warranty for my S26 Ultra doesn't expire 56 years ago. You get my point though. This is brand new and a new area of the phone. So they are some of the new stuff we've found within One UI 9 on my Galaxy S26 here. Like I said though, it's a very early build. There is still bugs, as you saw. I've even noticed a couple, like the now bar with sports results, doesn't work. It just now shows me the code behind it or some sort of formatting behind it rather than the actual result itself. That's One UI 9. That's the new stuff. Make sure you hit subscribe to SamMobile TV to keep up with the One UI 9 journey. This will probably go full with the launch of the Galaxy foldable range later on in the year. Beta hopefully will start just before then, and see you guys next time. Thanks.